Hello, Blunt Truth with the Ontario Rat 1 folder. They call it the Model 1. And here we go again. Here's another knife like the Tenacious that gets tons and tons of reviews, all positive. Everybody seems to like it. And so a lot of you that own this, and you saw my Tenacious review where I put it in its place, in my opinion, as being worth only $32 that you pay for it, not more, because it really isn't that good a knife. You're probably all wondering what I'm going to be saying about this thing. This is $5 less than the Tenacious, $27. Doesn't have quite such a high, small hoop to jump through. But even if this had a $40 hoop to jump through, it would have no problem making it in my eyes. No problem at all. This is an awesome knife. If this is Ontario's answer to the Tenacious, they answered loud and clear, yo, Spyderco, this is how it's done. You know, this is how you make a good, affordable knife. This is a good knife. Now, it doesn't have all those bells and whistles, it doesn't have the G10, but this FRN, this hard plastic scales, I can't see that getting broken, damaged. I can't see, let me just whack it here a little bit, you know. Good little whack. I don't see the slightest denting in there. Nothing. Smashing the hell out of the edge of my table. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong there. So all you need is this hard plastic. G10 isn't really that big a plus. This is lighter, and it's served you just as well as the G10, really. It looks cheaper, might not look as well, and one of my negatives on it is that they didn't grip it enough. They should have made a little bit more aggressive checkering, texturing. So there's one negative out of the way right off the bat. There are a couple negatives, you know. I don't think I've ever reviewed a knife that had no negative points at all in my eyes. They all have something wrong with them, it seems. Something I have to fix or work around, or I just don't like. But let's start with the blade of this, and let's do a little comparison here with the Tenacious a little bit. Has just about the same length blade. It's 3 1/4 inches. The Tenacious is an 1/8 inch longer cutting edge. This is a 3 1/4 inch cutting edge, 3 1/2 inch blade. So pretty much the same length, different grind on it, same 3 millimeters thick. The Ontario maintains thickness further up to the tip because of the way Spyderco designs these knives, this style of knife. So it's going to have a stronger tip. This is AUS 8. This is the Chinese steel, HCR 13. The handle is much, much, much better on the Ontario. It's longer, gives you a better grip, gives you a much better grip. It doesn't have this huge cutout here for the lock, which is totally unnecessary and ridiculous here on the Spyderco. It's real small, gives you really good protection from going up on the blade, where the Spyderco doesn't, the Tenacious doesn't. You can slide right over this little bump easy and right onto the blade. When you're closing this, it doesn't close on your thumb. This little choil area hits your thumb instead, so you're not going to cut your thumb closing it as you do when you close the Tenacious. Blade right into your thumb like a guillotine. Like a guillotine right there. Wham! Not a problem with the Ontario. Great protection from going up on the blade. Small ramp, but really big, 4 big like saw teeth, but rounded saw teeth jimping grooves that really work well when you're pushing them. You know, I think they're good. Some people think they could be more aggressive, but I think they work well. They work pretty well. The handle could be more grippy. I'd like to see it grippier than that. It really doesn't do anything for grip. Pretty much smooth. The pocket clip has to be put down here. With it up here, it's not comfortable at all in use. Doesn't get in the way of the lock like the Tenacious did though. If you have it over here, it doesn't get in the way at all. No, it gets a little close, but the problem with it up here is comfort when you're grabbing the knife to use it. It just bulges out too much. But you move it down here, so it's tip up carry, and you got no problem with that. The grip almost feels. I handed this to my boss at work. First thing he said when he grabbed it was, "Wow, feels like a fixed blade." And I can't quite agree with that, but I see his point is that you get a really good full round grip. See how wide this is, the width? Compare that to the Tenacious. I'll hold it this way. See the thickness difference? You get a much thicker, wider, rounded, edged, comfortable, very comfortable grip. Very comfortable. And if I don't have this on it when I'm just put the clip on it for the review. I actually don't EDC this because it's too damn heavy to EDC, which is another hit I'm going to give it. Weighs 5 ounces, but we'll get to that in a second. I don't keep the clip on it because if you take the clip off it, and if you own one, take the clip off it and use it a little bit without the clip, and you'll see a huge difference in comfort. This thing is amazingly comfortable without the clip on it. Just great. Really great. So that's how I carry it, and I take it with me. I haven't had a chance to go fishing with it yet, but I think this would be an excellent knife to take fishing and beat on and not worry about chopping up some fish and shit. It would clean out well, all open construction. Liners are not drilled out. That's one thing that Tenacious has. This doesn't. I'd like to see drilled liners. And I took it apart to drill them, and I couldn't drill them because my drill isn't hard enough to drill this. Really, really strong metal in here. I couldn't drill it well. I did a little, but it would take too long for me to drill it with my hand drill. Has real bronze phosphorus bushings. I believe bronze phosphorus. They don't look like brass. They look like bronze, coppery. It also has a little silicone washer in between against the blade. And I'm not sure the purpose of that, but it's pretty tough little silicone plasticky like rings. It's pretty resilient and doesn't deform, so those are in there. They seem to work well. It's very, very smooth opening. Just a slight flick. Comes right out. Comes right out as good as any Spyderco or Benchmade. Real smooth. No problem at all. And solid lockup. I mean, this knife is solid through and through. Weighs 5 ounces. Too heavy to EDC for me. I like lighter knives. I have to agree with something special about that is that 4 ounce rule. When you get to 4 ounces, that's like the upper limit of EDC comfort. The further up you go from there, the less you want to EDC it. So this is 5 ounces. It's that critical ounce over 4 that makes it not EDCable for me. But I would take it with me. I mean, I think it's a great knife for like the tackle box or throw in the pack or camping or hiking trip or somewhere where you're going to use a knife hard and you don't have to worry about screwing it up because it's only $27 and it'll take abuse. This is a tough knife. This is a really, really tough tank of a knife. And they built it really well. And the liner lock too works better than the Tenacious. The Tenacious has a really hard, springy, stiff liner that just doesn't, the lock doesn't push out of the way easy. This works just perfectly. It grabs the blade fine, pushes it away easy. Really great operation. Another thing about it that I like better than the Tenacious is the holes for the pocket clip don't go directly on top of the bushing where all the crud is going to go right in on top of the bushing, the worst possible place you could get your crud. And that's a stupid place to put 3 holes right on top of the bushings. Not a problem on this knife, no problem at all. And you notice the blade shape in my Twitch 2 review. This is one of my favorite sheeple friendly knives. By sheeple friendly I mean you can pull it out in a crowded mall to cut off a price tag and everyone isn't going to grab their kids and run for the nearest exit, This isn't sheeple friendly. This is a little more threatening looking, definitely. But the blade geometry, I mean, look at that. I love the blade of this thing, and look at it. It's like a Twitch 2 on steroids. It's the same blade, just huge. That's great. It works great. I'll show you in part 2. It works great. Really nice knife. I really like it. 27 bucks. 20% cheaper than the Tenacious, and at least $15 more value than the Tenacious. This is the deal of the century. Great knife. Highly recommend it. Nice. Very nice knife. Okay, watch part 2. See it cut. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I had a grandson named Justin last Monday, for those of you who care. Thank you. Bye.